Batman Superman 17 is a direct continuation from issue 16. And in 16 we saw this funky storytelling mechanic where two separate stories were happening at the exact same time. Film strips were being presented to us. One, a reality where Superman existed but Batman never did. And another where Batman existed but Superman never did. And both of these realities were being shown in a 1940s noir style. And it looked very similar to the old serial movie styles, if you've ever seen any of the black and white movie serials from back in the day. In fact, Superman's suit looks like the old Superman suit from the 40s, where his diamond crest on his chest even has the yellow outline instead of the red that we've come to expect in the modern era. So you could tell right away that there was something different going on. There was something unusual. And as the story unfolded, we saw that the two worlds were very different, despite just the simple one had no Batman and one had no Superman. There were a lot of other changes beyond that. But going even further now in this issue, we see that on a Wayne Tech satellite orbiting Earth, there is a new supervillain known as the Auteur. And the Auteur is somehow creating these new realities on these film strips. And within these new realities, he changes what he needs to in order to create some sort of object or device or maybe even a person. And then he sends in his archivists. And his archivists are able to extract that person or device, or object. And one of the objects that he creates in one of these realities is a kryptonite bracelet that he gives to Lex Luthor, which of course Lex Luthor then uses against Superman. But then he's able to take that out of that reality and use it for himself, which he then turns into a ring to wear on his finger to have a kryptonite ring to use against Superman. So we have this idea that he can manipulate these realities in order to create something that he needs, something that he wants, in order to change the current reality. So here, he wants to destroy Superman, so he creates this reality in order to get this kryptonite ring, which then he can pull out of one of these alternate realities in order to destroy Superman here in the quote-unquote real world. Now, what's fun here is the fact that, one, it does play on these old movie serials. The DC Comics universe has expanded into this infinite frontier, and so they're playing around with the idea of the multiverse again, and all of these different realities having a new canon and playing off of each other. And so going into these realities of the old movie serials is a fun one to play with, and that's definitely something that's interesting, and it's neat to see how they can incorporate some of the newer canon back into those old movie serials and still have the characters and concepts. Batman's driving the old convertible Batmobile that looks like a car from the 40s, but yet it has the flames shooting out of it that we expect from a modern Batmobile. Superman, again, with the yellow logo on his chest, which I just love seeing that old style come back. And so that is a neat, fun thing to look at. But it's odd the way that the universes break down. At the end of the last issue, we saw the universes somehow start to fall apart because of what was happening in the quote-unquote real world. And in the real world, Batman and Superman were attacking the Auteur, and his film strips were catching on fire, falling apart in this battle. And because of that, Superman and Lois Lane fell out of their reality into Batman's reality, and so shenanigans ensued. Here, again, they're able to break through the realities, and it's just a little awkward to see how easily that they're able to break through and kind of jump around in between them. I'm wondering if we're going to see something coming up perhaps in the next issue where maybe this old Batman and this old Superman are going to appear in the quote-unquote real world for a moment. Maybe they'll replace... Nah, that won't happen. DC Comics would never go that far, but nonetheless, it is a fun story. It has a lot of action going to it. I think the story is laid out very well. Even though the last one was a little confusing with the two stories going on at the same time, I think it did a good job of pacing itself. You could read both by reading one story, getting to the end of the page, and then reading the other one, or reading one all the way through, then going down to the next one and reading the other one all the way through, and then reading where they combine at the end. This one doesn't have anything going on parallel, so you don't have to worry about that. This one is laid out much more like a standard story, but it's still very well paced and put together. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't do what a lot of modern comics do, where they just give you maybe a page or two of exposition and then 18 pages of just like battle or chase or, people punching things, and then another couple pages of just talking heads. This does a really good job of some action, some storytelling, moving the characters. They figure some things out, which moves them along to the next thing. It's a very well-paced, very well-told story. On top of that, though, the artwork is phenomenal. Just looking at this thing, just the line work is it's great. I'm looking at this. Ivan Reis, of course, is a well-known penciler. Danny Mickey, I think, is the inker on this. Danny Mickey does the inks, and Sabine Rich is doing the colors, and altogether they do a really good job with just making this beautiful from page to page. The colors are bold and vibrant, and when they need to be dark and brooding, they can be dark and brooding, but for the most part, you look at it and it really looks alive, and it looks colorful, and it looks like a comic book. It's great. I love looking at this. Going through this and seeing just all the ways that they've done things like the energy effects and the fire effects, and even the lettering when it comes in. Who's the letterist on this? Sadia... Oh boy, I'm going to butcher this. Sadia Timafonte? Sure, why not? Is the lettering letterist, and even the lettering when it comes into play does a good job of not distracting from the artwork, but really feeling like it's being a part of that action, doing the onomatopoeia, if you will, and then having the correct colors to really fit in with the scene that it's going along with, and just everything has a nice glow and a warmth and a vibrancy to it. I just really, really enjoy looking at this from page to page, flipping through it. Even, I've read it twice now, and just going back through while I'm talking about it here and just looking from page to page, it's just a joy to look at the artwork. Now, there is one moment where it kind of skips a little bit, and you have to read the word balloons carefully. It makes it clear that some time has passed. At this one point, I want to say this is page like 7 maybe. If you don't read it carefully, you kind of feel like maybe you missed a page or something, but other than that, I'd say it's really well put together and paced, and Gene, I always say his name wrong, Gene Luen Yang, let's just call him Gene Yang. He's one of these writers that I've really come to enjoy in the DC universe. He did New Superman for a while, which was okay, but it was not fantastic. But some of the other books he's worked on have been a lot of fun. I was glad to see him working on a book like Batman Superman. I think this is a good book. I think this is a book that is going to do well moving forward if he can stay on it. If you haven't been checking this out, I highly suggest pick up issue 16, pick up this issue 17, look forward to issue 18. I don't know how long the storyline is going to be going. I try not to look at solicits anymore. I try not to look too far ahead and spoil things for myself. There are some twists and turns in this story where certain characters pop up in these alternate realities where you don't necessarily expect them and things happen to them. But I really found this to be a lot of fun and really enjoyable. And I'm going to give this high regards. If you're looking for something that is superhero, that's DC, one of the big two characters, and you've been let down by a lot of the future state stuff, and you're not really looking forward to a lot of this Infinite Frontier, stuff, I can tell you though right now that this Batman Superman, this is good. This is the good stuff. This is kind of your classic superhero characters doing superhero stuff. The good guys are good, the bad guys are bad. It's fun. It's just a great superhero book, and everybody should check this one out. Batman Superman 17, highly regarded.